The Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, Houston District, would like to welcome you to this virtual public meeting with an in-person open house. This presentation will provide information on the proposed design changes for the Grand Parkway State Highway 99, Segment B1, as well as the proposed State Highway 35 reconstruction project. Since the proposed State Highway 35 improvements would be constructed within the limits of and the same schedule as State Highway 99 Segment B1, pairing the projects together would reduce contractor conflicts, decrease impacts to the traveling public, avoid future design changes, and would expedite construction. This is a pre-recorded presentation. My name is Lorena Ag, and I am part of the project team. I would like to thank you for participating in this public meeting. During the virtual presentation, you may pause the video and navigate forward or backward using your video player. The virtual public meeting is being held in conjunction with two in-person open houses. An open house would be held on October 12, 2023 from 5 to 7 p.m. at Alvin High School Cafeteria at 802 South Johnson Street, Alvin, Texas 77511. And again, on October 17, 2023 from 5 to 7 p.m. at Lowett Elementary and Middle School Cafeteria, located at 1251 FM 517 West, Dickinson, Texas 77539. The information presented in the virtual public meeting and the in-person option is identical, and the opportunities to comment are the same. If you have any technical difficulties assessing the public meeting information, need special accommodations, or speak a language other than English or Spanish and have interpretation needs, please contact Gabriel Adame at 713-802-5199. Details on how to submit comments will be provided further in the presentation. The purpose of these public meetings is to engage with stakeholders in the adjacent communities regarding the proposed project improvements and to receive feedback. It also offers an opportunity for the project team to address any questions or concerns from the public. TxDOT commits to purposely involve the public in planning and project implementation by providing for early, continuous, transparent, and effective access to information and decision-making process. These projects are receiving federal funds, and because of the federal component, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project improvements in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analyses for the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether or not to proceed with the project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to this project. In this presentation, I will first outline the notification process leading up to this public meeting. Then, I will provide an overview of each project, discuss background information, and explain the need for and the purpose of the projects, followed by a detailed discussion of the design changes, proposed improvements, and the environmental analyses. Next steps and funding information will be provided following each engineering and environmental discussion. Towards the end of this presentation, there are instructions on how to submit written comments as well as contact information for TxDOT. In preparation for this public meeting, Notices in both English and Spanish were published on the TxDOT webpage on October 10th, 2023. Elected officials were notified of this public meeting by mail and email on September 21st, 2023. Notices in both English and Spanish were then mailed to adjacent landowners on September 21st, 2023, along with project location maps. Approximately 17,000 postcards were mailed out using Every Door Direct on September 27, 2023, to mailboxes within the 77511, 77359, and 77573 zip codes. Informative flyers were hand-delivered to local communities' facilities, gathering places, and apartment complexes in the vicinity on September 21st, 2023. Notices were also published in English in the Galveston Daily News and the Alvin Sun and Advisor on September 24th, 2023, and the Bay Area Citizen on September 27th, 2023. A notice was also published in Spanish in La Voz on September 27, 2023. TxDOT advertised the meeting on roadside variable messages signs along FM 646 and State Highway 35 on September 27, 2023 through October 17, 2023. In addition, links to this meeting notice were posted on the TxDOT Facebook page and TxDOT Houston District Twitter page. Now we would like to discuss the State Highway 99 Segment B1 project first. To give a brief overview of the previously approved project, the approved State Highway 99 Segment B preferred alignment generally consisted of a 4-lane controlled SS toll road with discontinuous frontage roads, mostly on a new location. The final environmental impact statement was dated April 2016, and a record of decision was signed in November of 2016, approving the project. Historical information on the State Highway 99 Segment B project may be found on the virtual meeting webpage for those interested in additional information. If you do not have access to the internet, information may be requested from the district office. Methods of contacting TxDOT for this project will be provided at the end of this presentation. The Grand Parkway State Highway 99 Segment B1 limits under re-evaluation are from I-45 to north of FM 2403, a length of approximately 14 miles. The estimated construction cost is approximately $950 million and would be funded by toll revenue bonds. This information for project can also be found in the project handout for a quick reference. A purpose and need was presented in the Grand Parkway State Highway 99 2016 FEIS and approved in the 2016 ROD. The need and purpose has not changed and is carried forward in the re-evaluation. The needs include system linkage, provides efficient connections or linkages between major suburban communities and major roadways that radiate outward from Houston. Expanded capacity. Transportation demands exceeds the current and future capacity of the existing transportation system. Safety. Reduce congestion during emergency events by providing an alternative route to establish evacuation routes. And economic development. The project would accommodate demographic and economic growth by improving the movement of persons and goods in the area. The purpose of the approved State Highway 99 Segment B is to efficiently link suburban communities and major roadways, enhance mobility, respond to economic growth, and provide an additional access to established hurricane evacuation routes. Now we would like to discuss the proposed design changes that have occurred since the FEIS ROD approval in 2016. There is a proposed alignment shift between Calder Road and Hobbs Road to avoid 26 new homes in the Bay Colony West subdivision that were constructed within the approved FEIS ROD preferred alignment. The alignment would be shifted to the north along an alignment reviewed in the draft EIS. This shift to the north to the draft EIS alignment would require a re-evaluation of approximately 35 acres of right-of-way that was not in the FEIS ROD approved alignment and would impact one property that was not previously impacted. There would be no additional displacements as a result of the proposed alignment shift. As design was further developed, one of the approved direct connectors at I-45 and FM 646 was shown to extend beyond the approved right-of-way. Illustrated on the slide in peach hatching, this change requires approximately 4 acres of additional right-of-way from one property owner that was not evaluated in the 2016 FEIS and ROD. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacement. The next 3 design changes we will discuss are proposed to accommodate future planned development in the League City area. These changes include: one new overpass is proposed to cross over a new unnamed road located between Bay Area Boulevard and Landing Street. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacements or additional right-of-way. The existing diamond interchange approved in the 2016 ROD would have crossed Maple Leaf and McFarland. A diamond interchange is a common road junction used where a controlled access highway crosses a minor road. The proposed design would elongate the diamond interchange from west of West Boulevard to east of Maple Leaf Drive. This redesigned elongated interchange would span West Boulevard, an unnamed roadway, McFarland Road, and Maple Leaf Drive. Discontinuous frontage roads would connect all roads spanned by the elongated interchange. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacements or additional right-of-way. A new diamond interchange is proposed over an unnamed roadway that would be located between Clifford Street and West Boulevard, which was not part of the approved 2016 FEIS ROD design. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacements or additional right-of-way. Since the 2016 FEIS ROD, further hydrologic analyses of the area has been completed, indicating a need for additional stormwater detention along the corridor. Therefore, under this re-evaluation, 43 stormwater detention ponds are now proposed. 23 ponds are located outside the FEIS ROD approved alignment as shown on the slide in hatched blue and would require an additional 130 acres of new right-of-way. The remaining 20 ponds are located within the FEIS ROD approved preferred alignment as shown in solid blue and do not require additional right-of-way not shown in the FEIS. None of the detention ponds would require any additional displacements or relocations. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 1 to 11, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 12 to 17, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 18 to 26, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 27 to 31, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention pond 32, the acreage of the pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 33 to 38, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. This slide shows the location of the proposed stormwater detention ponds from 39 to 43, the acreage of each pond, and whether or not the pond is inside the approved FEIS ROD right-of-way. In summary, the total new right-of-way required for the proposed stormwater detention ponds would be approximately 130 acres. The schematic files, which shows these locations in more detail, are available for viewing at the in-person open house and online. These files are large and may take time to download. Currently, travelers can use the State Highway 35 overpass to avoid going through the signal at State Highway 6. This movement must be maintained in the proposed design. However, toll traffic and free-moving traffic could not be mixed. Therefore, to improve safety and maintain traffic flow, design changes are proposed at State Highway 6. Instead of the approved southbound exit ramp to State Highway 6 and northbound entrance ramp from State Highway 6, braided ramps are proposed. Braided ramps would allow for traffic to enter and exit roadway by one ramp braiding over the other, separating traffic that is entering from traffic that is exiting, which eliminates the weaving of traffic and is safer. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacements or additional right-of-way. And finally, the 2016 approved design at the BNSF Railroad would have used the existing pavement for the frontage roads to travel under the railroad while the State Highway 99 main lanes went over the railroad. The proposed design changes would bridge the main lanes from south of House Street to north of State Highway 6, while the frontage roads would bridge the railroad only, and backfill would be placed over the depressed roadway, making the railroad at grade. These design changes would prevent flooding of the frontage roads during extreme weather events, eliminate an unsafe S-curve configuration under the railroad, mitigate future bridge maintenance for the railroad, and would expedite coordination efforts with the railroad. The proposed design change would not result in any additional displacements or additional right-of-way. In summary, the proposed design changes would require a total of 169 acres of additional right-of-way. The additional right-of-way required by the design changes would not cause any additional displacements or relocations than what was determined in the 2016 FEIS and ROD. While the design changes under consideration in this presentation would not result in displacement of residences or businesses, this exhibit illustrates a change in adjacent land use since the ROD was approved in 2016. Based on aerial photography, the Take 5 oil change at 1831 FM 646 Road West, Dickinson, Texas 77539, was built between December 2019 and October 2020 within the selected alignment of Grand Parkway. Shifting the alignment to avoid this business is not reasonable or feasible. Therefore, it is anticipated to be displaced. The other buildings adjacent to the Take 5 oil change are displacements that are discussed in the FEIS and were disclosed to the public during the public meetings in August 2012. TxDOT offers relocation counseling and financial assistance to residents and businesses that are displaced by the acquisition of highway right-of-way in accordance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970. TxDOT would provide assistance to potentially displaced residences and businesses. Information about the TxDOT Relocation Assistance Program concerning services and benefits for displaced persons and businesses may be found on TxDOT website. Information about the right-of-way acquisition process may be found on the TxDOT webpage at the web address listed on this slide and at the right-of-way table at the open house. Information regarding the schedule of acquisition may be obtained by calling Mark Nazer at 713-802-5606. The project team is identifying and re-evaluating potential environmental impacts that could occur as a result of the proposed design changes. Those areas outside of the proposed design changes are addressed in the 2016 FEIS. Areas that are under review include biological resources, community impacts, environmental justice, water resources, hazardous materials, archaeological resources, historic resources, and traffic noise. The project would be designed to avoid or minimize impacts to the greatest amount practicable. Once completed, technical reports documenting the analyses and conclusion of these studies would be available for review upon request. Please note, the noise analysis is still underway, and the technical report will be provided on the project website when complete to list any additional proposed noise barriers due to any of the design changes. The final decision to construct any proposed noise barriers would not be made until completion of the project design, utility evaluation, and polling of all benefited and adjacent property owners. The approved project would be funded by toll revenue bonds for a total of approximately $950 million. Now we would like to discuss the proposed State Highway 35 project, which would extend for approximately 1.33 miles along State Highway 35 from North Gordon Street Business 35C to Steel Road. As discussed earlier, this project would be constructed in combination with the State Highway 99 project to reduce contractor conflicts, decrease impacts to the traveling public, avoid future design changes, and expedite construction. The majority of the project would take place within the existing 420 foot of right-of-way. The project would require the acquisition of 1.69 acres of right-of-way for the proposed detention pond and a small corner clip on the southwest corner of the intersection at State Highway 35 and Wheeler Road. This acquisition would not result in any displacements. This information can also be found in the project handout for a quick reference. On this slide is an illustration of the existing typical section of State Highway 35. Within the project limits, State Highway 35 is currently a 4-lane divided roadway with 2 lanes in each direction and a 190-foot wide grassy median. Either direction of travel has 2 12-foot wide lanes with a 4-foot wide inside shoulder, 8-foot wide outside shoulder, and ditches on either side. A full schematic of State Highway 35 design can be found at the in-person public meeting and online. State Highway 35 gains one left turn lane on either side where it meets Wheeler Lane. State Highway 35 gains one left lane and one right turn lane on either side where it meets FM 528. This slide illustrates the proposed typical section or a cross-section of what the road would look like with a proposed project. The proposed project would construct elevated main lanes within the grassy median of the existing facility and reconstruct the existing lanes to function as frontage roads. The majority of the project would have four 12-foot wide elevated main lanes, 2 in each direction, with a 10-foot wide outside shoulder. The inside shoulders would vary between 10 feet and 4 feet wide. The project also proposes intersection improvements on the converted State Highway 35 frontage roads at FM 528 and Wheeler. The project would add U-turn lanes under the proposed State Highway 35 overpass and reconfigure the intersections for increased efficiency. The 10-foot wide shared use path along FM 528 would extend across State Highway 35 under the elevated main lanes and continue along FM 528. For more information on the proposed design, please visit the project webpage and download the project schematic or view it at the in-person open house. The proposed project would be funded by federal and state funds, and the estimated total cost is $39 million. We want to highlight the estimated project timeline. Look for the green "We are here" arrow at the top middle of your screen. After the comment period closes, the project team would review the comments received for both projects, make appropriate design changes, and prepare official public meeting documentation. Public meeting documentation would be posted to the project meeting webpage when completed. The next steps include receiving an environmental decision, beginning detailed design activities, and acquiring right-of-way. It is anticipated construction would begin in 2027. The project team estimates that construction of both projects would take approximately 3.5 years. TxDOT encourages you to review the materials regarding the proposed project improvements and provide feedback. You may submit comments in the following ways. Download the comment card from the project webpage by going to https://www.texdot.gov/projects/hearings-meetings.html and email to hou-pio-webmail@texdot.gov. Fill out the comment card at the open house and drop it in the comment box, or mail the comment card to TxDOT Houston District, attention, Advanced Project Development Director, P.O. Box 1386, Houston, Texas 77251-1386. Comments must be received or postmarked by November 1st, 2023 to be included in the public meeting documentation. Responses to verbal and written comments received during the comment period would be included in the public meeting documentation that would be posted on the project webpage when complete. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions, and feel free to contact Ben Regner at TxDOT Houston District office by phone at 713-802-5254 or email at ben.regner@texdot.gov with any questions or comments at any time during the project development process. And don't forget to click on these links and follow us on Twitter for ongoing road closures and any construction updates on the Houston District Twitter page. You may also keep up with TxDOT News on our Facebook page or follow us on our Instagram page. November 7, 2000 was the last deathless day on roadways in Texas. That means for nearly 23 years, at least one person has died every single day. We all have a part to play to change that. This message is that reminder to end the streak of deaths on Texas highways. We need drivers and passengers to act more responsibly and help us reach our goal of 0 deaths by 2050. Texans can play a major role in ending fatal crashes with a few simple driving habits. Wear seatbelts, drive the speed limit, put away the phone and other distractions, and never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So please do your part and share this message with your family and friends. Thank you for participating in this public meeting. Please remember to submit your comments no later than Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, to be included in the official public meeting documentation.